Good afternoon. Right, I did put a post on Facebook yesterday. This is the next project that's coming on to Patreon. I'm just going to give you some hints and tips and get the preparation video done. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. I'll change this camera view for a moment. There we go. Right then. So I've picked a nice robin. We've just recently moved, as I have said, and in our garden I've been watching them this week. We've got all the bird feeders up and everything, and we've been watching the robins being playful and cheeky as normal. Um, I have done robins before, but I just thought, well, we'll do a fresh one for this season, on Patreon. So I've got a reference photograph from Pixabay. It's a copy-free right image by Joe Pauling. And it's a nice robin sat on a branch, just gazing around, enjoying its day. It's quite a simple pose. And I've been busy prepping by doing the colour picking and one thing and another. So I'll just go back down here. So what you will get on with the first post with this video, along with this video, you're going to get a copy of, or I will send you files, which are the image. So what I would suggest with the images, duplicate it if you can, and do a black and white one as well, because a black and white image is great for doing your tonal values. And also another what I do is I don't print it out, but I just put it on my tablet when I'm using it, is I do what you call, I put a Gaussian blur over the image, and that will give me the softer shapes to find for the base to work base colors out. I find it a bit easier doing it that way, but I'll explain that in another video. You will also get a drawing, outline drawing link to this, so you get the file for that, so you can print that off, or you're perfectly entitled to try and draw it freehand, which is a good thing. It gets you drawing. And then you'll also I will give you a list of the materials that I've picked out. Now, I may add a few more, or I may not use all of what I've picked, but these are the ones that after a full day messing about and looking at the colour picker and everything, then these are the colours that I've come up with. So I'll give you a list of that, and it will also tell you the paper that I'm using, which is uh, Saunders and Waterford hot press watercolour paper. I usually use Fabriano Artistico. Any hot press watercolour paper is a good paper to use. Um, I have done them on drafting film as well, and probably later on I will be doing some birds on drafting film because that is good for doing birds on. But for now, we'll just get practicing and we'll using the paper. So the Saunders and Waterford hot press watercolor paper. I've got the Derwent Mini Point pencil sharpener. Any sort of pencil sharpener will do. You need a dust brush, or if you haven't got those, you can also use these little puffers. I find these better because you don't smudge any of the marks, whereas with the brush you still got the danger there of smudging a little bit. Rubber wise, I have a kneadable rubber, which I use Blue Tack. But also I've got a very small battery operated rubber here, which I clean by just putting it onto plain paper every now and then, just so that the head gets clean. And then if I want to sort of fetch it to a point, all I do is I get a little bit of sandpaper and you can get quite a nice point on there as well. So I do use that for smaller areas. Then I've also got my trustworthy Tombow rubber as well, and a normal rubber. The other thing that we will use maybe at the end is I use these quite a lot, which is a slice tool. Some people call them slice tools, some people call them ceramic blades. They're very good. You can change the blades. They last a lot longer than a craft knife blade. They're retractable and you don't cut yourself with them, but they do cut paper. But we use that just to remove pigment. Also, sometimes I use a colourless blender. I've got the Derwent one here. but I also use a luminance white pencil as well for mixing colours, or a lighter colour of the area that I'm doing using the colours there, but a lighter one. And it's just to blend the colours in really, but I'll explain that as we go along. So for the colour picking, what I've done, I've started now to do, I've got a template that's been designed, we've got it set up, and then we put the photograph in the middle, and then I pull out some colours, what I think are relevant. So you'll have some for the base colours, some will be the top colours, and I put them in the dots on the way around. So I'll show you that just now. It's like this. So I print it out. Okay, I'm not sure if I can actually, let me just see if I can zoom it in a bit, zoom it, that's it. No, that's as far as it's going to go in, but you can get the gist. It's an A4 sheet, and what I do is put the photograph in the middle, and then I've got all these circles on the outside, and what I do is I pull out the colour using a computer program. I will be putting this on later on how to do this, but I will be uploading this. You won't have all this written gumph on it. You'll just have this with the colours. You will have these colours. So this is helpful for anybody that doesn't use the same pencil brand as myself. I mean, I use 3 types. My main 3 types are the Polychromos, the Lightfast Derwent, and the Luminance, the Caran d'Ache Luminance. They're the 3 main pencils, but I do also have Pablo, Chromaflow, and a couple of others. But I tend these 3 are the ones that I tend to stick to mostly. So what I've done is I've gone round, and you can see here. So like there, that one equates to the nearest I could get to that was the Lightfast warm grey. We've got some here that have got that when you to get the colour right, you've had to actually mix 2 colours. Now, if they've just I've put colours in because I know that's the numbers on the Polychromos range. If they're luminance pencils, I've just put an L or an LU at the top. So you can see all the different colours that have come out. So you can match your colours nearest to it, but also don't forget you can mix colours. So for that colour there, for instance, I've got a it's the Polychromos. I've got a 189 and a 186 and mix them together, and that's the better way of getting that colour. So I've been experimenting today and got the colours there, but this will be, you can print this out, and you can go around with your own pencil set and pick your own colours. But then I will also be putting on a list of the actual colours that I've picked myself. And as I say, I may add to them and I may not use all of them. Okay, the reference photograph I use on the tablet, so I don't actually print it off as such. This was the line drawing, so I've just done it. You don't, but when you transfer it onto your paper, please don't transfer it heavily. Just do it quite lightly. And I've just put in some of the feather format, basically for the direction of form and also for the size of the feathers, because up here they're a lot tinier and a lot looser. Here they're more specific and a lot longer. Okay, so you've got the drawing there that you can download and transfer onto your paper. Now, transferring it onto your paper, it's up to you. You can use a light box, or you could use a carbon pencil, not too a graphite pencil, sorry, not too sort of towards the soft, too soft, and put it on the back and then turn over and then redraw the lines, and you will get an image on your work paper, your work surface. But you do have to be careful of that, because you can get, if you lean on it, you'll get marks and everything. You also it would be handy if you had a piece of Clairefontaine acetate paper, which is great to put there and lean on, so you don't get all the oils off your hands coming onto your paper, because that can also affect the way the pencil works. It might not work at all. Also, ladies, if you're using hand creams and what have you, that does transfer across. So I make sure I have, if you haven't got any acetate, just use a plain piece of plain paper, printer paper, as long as you've got something to rest your hand on so that you're not transferring oils onto your piece. So you can see here I've got this transferred. I will be lightening it when we start drawing. So we're all ready. I've got up to the preparation stage and I've got the line drawing done. So on the next video we will be starting with the eye and the beak, and then we'll start to work on the feathers. It's quite a simple pose, but it's a nice pose. And I love robins. I love to see them in the garden. In fact, we have had two in the garden, but one at one end and one at the other, which is lucky because if they're very territorial, and they can be very aggressive when they want to be. But they are still a beautiful bird. I mean, one of them that's in the garden is obviously a little bit more mature than the other one, and his breast is really, really red, very, very bright. And it's just been it's just been nice to watch them relax, sit there and relax and watch the birds. We get multitude of birds through the garden. We've got goldfinches. We've got what else is it? What else did you see yesterday? Yeah, I've got yeah, we saw goldfinches, blue tits, great tits. We saw a coal tit yesterday. Um, and we do get a few issues with starlings when they come, when they see the bird feeders, they attack them, but not just one or two. There's a big flight of them coming, and they go for the food, so they're a little bit greedy. We've got the robin, obviously, and then there's other birds around, but obviously we've just moved here, so we're just discovering what birds we can get in the garden. But we've put plenty of bird feeders up, and I've got the cameras set up now, so I'm hoping to get some really nice photographs, what we can use for references. So this is the end of the first one, and as I say, I've got it now. So you want to be able to pick your colours. So just take your time, don't rush. Preparation is the key to getting a good piece of artwork, in my opinion, but that's my personal opinion. So I do quite a lot of prep first, like prepping, such as finding the actual image. You want an image that's got quite a bit of good contrast in there, so it doesn't look flat, so you can make sure it looks 3D. Whether you're doing a headshot or whether you're doing the full body, you want an interesting pose as well. As I say, this is quite a simple one, but it's symbolic of the robin on a lot of things. You see them in this sort of pose. Also, you want to make sure it's a good, clear photograph so you can see the direction of the feathers or the fur if you're drawing an animal, a canine or a cat. But with birds, the feathers. Also that you can see beyond the top layer of colours and look so you can figure out what sort of colours to put down as a base layer. So the robin it's got a lot of warm colours in there, but there are a few areas where it has got some cooler greys as well. So it's about looking at your picture as well and finding out and making sure you've got a combination of warm and cool colours. And also, how much of it's on the paper and how much you've got spare. Now, usually with birds, what you sort of say, oh, well, any animal, but it's the eye, where their eye is looking, you need lots of space around it, and then it sort of leads them and makes them think, well, what they're looking at, and it creates some interest and it gets them looking at the picture. So you'll have the line drawing, the material list. I'll send you the reference, which I suggest you use on your phone or on your tablet so you can zoom in to certain areas. And then materials, as I say, materials list, and then the colour picker picture as well, so you can have a go at picking your own colours. I encourage you to do that because then you'll probably see colours. You could see colours in a slightly different way to what I see them, and you may see some colours inside the bird that I haven't. So by doing the colour picker, then you're having a chance to pick your own and learn how to pick your own colours and look for warm colours or cool colours. And I will explain them as we go along. When we're using them, we know whether they're warm or cool and why we're using certain colours in certain areas. So I will get this uploaded now, and then you can print this all off and get it ready, and then we'll do another session. Probably tomorrow night. We'll start with it tomorrow night, excuse me, or on Thursday afternoon. But we'll be making a good start on this. Okay. Thank you for listening and watching, and I hope to see you in part 2. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.